ready for the first match of the big NWCA All Star Classic between James Nicholson, number 5 ranked wrestler on your left in the blue ankle band, and Zach Sanders from Minnesota. Sanders, a sophomore and All-American last year in his freshman year. Nicholson, a junior, All-American 2 years ago. They met last year in the NCAAs, and Sanders scored a last-second takedown in the second round to advance and ultimately become an All-American.
Well, one thing you can count on with both these wrestlers, they're going to go out there and get on the offense, particularly Zach Sanders. I really have an appreciation for what he does. He gets out there always on the offense, and now he's got to fight off a little defensive move here, a little roll through. Got to situate. It looks like they're going to give the points.
There's 2 points. Control for James Nicholson, goes out in front 2-0. Speaking of appreciation, appreciate James Nicholson. He's kind of like the guy that's ready to come off the bench anytime. 2 years in a row now, he has answered the call in the last like 4 days before the NWCA All Star to compete when he wasn't the first selection. So he's ready to go, always ready.
Well, you like and respect that. Roll out the mats and show up. And Nicholson's that type of wrestler, always on the offense. He's got a great sense of balance here. You'll see that all throughout the course of the match. And Zach Sanders is just going to come at you the whole time.
Sanders from Wabash, Minnesota. He was Mr. Minnesota Wrestling and was the top recruit at 119 as a high schooler. Won the Dave Schultz High School Excellence Award as the top high school wrestler in the country. So what a great recruit for Jay Robinson, Joe Russell, and the guys at Minnesota. James Nicholson from Roosevelt High School in Des Moines.
Yeah, Roosevelt Rough Rider, goes all the way to Old Dominion. Of course, Steve Martin, former Iowa wrestler there, has connections back to the state of Iowa and able to take him out in that direction. But you mentioned Dave Schultz. I mean, this would have been a proud moment for Dave Schultz, you know, all of our memories and what a great California high school product he was over the years, national champion at the University of Oklahoma. Beautiful duck under there, and there's that gyro, right, from Nicholson. Always has the balance, just tough wrestler to beat.
Nicholson out in front now 4-1 on the strength of 2 takedowns. Sanders got an escape there. The first period.
Rides on the right-hand side, and this is an area where Sanders last year as a freshman maybe had a little more difficult time. You know, you come out of high school, you may not have the full complement of skills in the down position, but he keeps a high pace, doing a nice job of keeping his elbows in, fighting hands right there, gets up to his feet. That's a nice escape.
4-2 now, still in the first period. James Nicholson from Old Dominion out in front. We talked about the 2 head coaches. The assistant coach, Coach Cerritos, is in the corner for Old Dominion. Steve Martin not here. Jay Robinson not on the trip, but Brandon Eggum on the trip. There's Coach Cerritos on the left, but Billy Pincus, one of the leaders of former coach of William and Mary, and the group right there in the shirts.
Yeah, the green and gold shirts. They're sponsoring this event. The alumni of William and Mary College, and doing a wonderful job here. You know, 35 guys that go to the national tournament every year, formed a bond, of course, wrestling for the College of William and Mary. And there's Billy there. You can see him in the corner. He's into this, okay? He's just like, these are my boys. I wish I was coaching again. But a guy that took the disappointment of losing a program and used those resources and talents to be able to sponsor this event. And when Cal State Fullerton got in trouble, as far as the potentially dropping the program, these guys, the guy in the corner and the guys in the first row, stepped up to sponsor this event and help the program.
The first period came to an end with the score 4-2 in favor of James Nicholson, and he deferred. He won the flip, but deferred. Zach Sanders chose down. Nicholson doing a pretty good job of keeping the head on the mat there initially.
Yeah, but Sanders keeps a high pace all the way through. He's not real flashy, but his pace is high, and he's just one of those guys that he keeps moving enough, changes direction. Now he drops in on a single leg. Oh, you see how he backed out of that? He didn't want to waste any time. He just took the escape. He knows he wants to wrestle on the feet, so he didn't waste any time in a scramble situation. Respecting Nicholson's ability to scramble, takes the escape and closes the gap to 4-3.
Tim Johnson along with Jim Gibbons, NWCA All Star Classic here at Titan Gym, campus of Cal State Fullerton. We're just starting out, an exciting day of wrestling. 44th edition of the NWCA All Star Classic. You mentioned sponsored by the alumni of the College of William & Mary.
Wow.
Good action here.
Great job.
Both wrestlers.
Looked like Sanders was about ready to score, and Nicholson did a nice job of squaring up. Now a low shot there by Sanders, trying to come out the back door. You notice how Nicholson doesn't panic in here. He just keeps the pressure on the head. He's going to lock up in the crotch here a little bit. He's really trying to keep Sanders' right heel close to his right cheek, so to speak. Doesn't panic.
Randy Hartman, the official, he's been in the NCAA finals the last several years, and he is the official from just down the road here in California.
Good quick stalemate call there, knowing that the action wasn't going to be completed. One of the wrestlers had given up on the technique. So again, these guys go at it. I like watching Zach Sanders and Nicholson wrestle. They go at it, scoring points. In and out. Nice high crotch attempt there by Sanders. Now he's going to try to come out the back door again. Nicholson's pretty comfortable in here, so Sanders is going to have to try to create some hip separation, get his rear away from Nicholson's chest, but not enough time to be able to score.
It's the end of the second period, and the score 4-3. A little bit of riding time for James Nicholson. Minute 5, that's 5 seconds over the 1 minute benchmark for the extra point that is given to the wrestler who has a minute or more riding time at the end of regulation.
Well, strategy call here for Sanders to get back in the mat. He's going to try to at least get that riding time broke, but you won't see him probably try to ride much longer than that 5 seconds. So he's able to break the riding time point, and expect him to get really on his offense here. He really likes to pick up the pace in the later periods.
Well, 5-3 the score in favor of James Nicholson, but right now you see Nicholson backing off just a little bit, and not Sanders. He's got that typical Minnesota style. He keeps the pressure on and just hustles.
Great call, Tim, because he's heavy up. His hands are heavy. Everything he's doing is making Nicholson carry his weight right now. See how he's got that head stuffed, and he's squatting down, lowering his level. He's making Nicholson carry the weight, and he'll come back over and drop his levels, and he'll go ahead and go to the head. A lot of Minnesota wrestlers do that. Jay Robinson preaches heavy hands, tiring out techniques, that use the little things here to open a guy up later on the match. Here we go. And there's a shot by Nicholson. Notice that it's kind of one of those hang-on type of shots. It wasn't really nearly to bring his hips to the party there. He kind of reached and held on a little bit.
Holding on because he leads 5-3, and he's trying to hang on to a 5-3 lead here in the third period. A little try to inside trip action by Zach Sanders.
Notice how he's stuffing the head. Okay, making it work a little bit harder, really making those upper shoulders and that neck carry his weight, and that pays off later on in the match. The edge, and Nicholson, there's still enough time in this match here. He needs to continue to score and get on the offensive, and still
30 seconds left, and the score 5-3. Nicholson with the lead, down below 20 seconds.
Single leg shot by Sanders. He's getting there, and he's got the 2 points, so that ties up the match.
Was it too early though?
Yeah,
too early.
Right.
Nicholson trying to get away.
Gets his hips out. Oh, he sucks him back. He's got back points now. Gonna get a 2 count. Yep. Wow.
Takedown at the end of the period, and near fall. The winner, Zach Sanders from Minnesota. What a great flurry by Sanders, and like you said, pace was everything, and he kept it up.
Pace was high. The pace was high all throughout the match here. The score showed that the points showed up late, but the pace was high all the way through the match, and a nice win by Zach Sanders.
Zach Sanders from Minnesota, your winner in the first exciting match of the day in the NWCA All Star Classic.